Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and there is a brand new beta out right now for Minecraft Bedrock, and inside of it is a really interesting feature change that you probably haven't thought about in a really long time, but that has some really interesting implications because there is a brand new Vex model. Look at it, it is such an interesting mob, he even snuck right up on me. I really like this new model, but it also changes some things about how Minecraft works, alongside, by the way, this beta/snapshot introducing some new bug fixes as well as inventory changes. They are still going on at that, and they're making some really interesting progress, but for now, let's talk about the model. This is something that has changed on both Bedrock and Java, which is why I'm starting here on Bedrock, and the reason this change is so interesting is because the Vex texture is one that you probably don't run into very often. I mean, I did it in my Genocide run recently, and it made me realize just, wow, how tricky these guys can be to kill in the right scenarios, but also how rare they are to be found in normal gameplay circumstances. They are only spawned by evokers, and everyone probably knows that, but you might not know just how much damage they can deal on the harder difficulties, so it's really important that you know what a Vex looks like, and also that you know that they're meant to be these kind of cute little guys flying around with swords, and there's been a theory by the community for quite some time that a Vex is a corrupted ally. I mean, you find these allies in the outposts and the woodland mansions, the very same places that the evokers are found, and so the theory has been for a while that what if the ally is a purified or a non-corrupted Vex, and that theory has been like, well, it's just a theory, until this texture change makes it more than clear. I mean, it's really hard to show them side by side because even barrier blocks can be passed through by the the Vex. But if I show you this image right here, you'll see that it is incredible the similarities they're building into this. And I love that the Mojang developers either intentionally built the ally this way to begin with, I think that's more likely, but also kind of built with the feedback to make it more obvious in the game itself. Making Minecraft a slightly more lore-rich place is something I really like, and I think there's all these sorts of minor changes which they can do to bring it closer to that. Although, on the same page, it has to be mentioned, why is it that if we're working on these lore features, why don't we have mud brick desert wells yet? They'd be the perfect thing. You're in a situation where you don't have any water whatsoever. Wow, mud brick desert well there to save you. Okay, more seriously, this week's Bedrock beta only introduced really two major things. There was the Vex change. There was also a change to the sticky piston. It used to be able to push you through walls. So if you've never played around with sticky piston on Bedrock, it's slightly different than on Java. It's got these lovely chunky handles, and also it's really interesting because they push you in really weird ways. But imagine if there was a block right here where the sticky piston is, what would happen then? Well, the answer is that in some circumstances you could be pushed through a wall or whatnot, but now it is much more smooth, and I kind of like that. I think it's kind of great, and also, yeah, the sticky piston can still push you even with a block in front of it, which I think is kind of fun. By the way, speaking of fun, here's a little quiz for you for the rest of the video before we move to Java. This is a sticky piston with a lever on the top. Why is it that when I turn it on, it does not activate? If you have a theory why, let me know in the comments and we'll see who is correct on that one. So we're gonna start on the main menu, because after this snapshot, you'll no longer have to yell to hear yourself over the main menu music. That's right, Snapshot 22W45A officially tones down the noise of the wild update menu music. This is objectively a good thing, just like not feeding chocolate to parrots is probably a good thing, you might assume. But let's jump into the actual game, because they have made quite a significant change to the bamboo. Also, it looks like there's a fire in the background. You know how you can avoid house fires? Greater than 99.9% of them happen to people who don't subscribe to the IBX Toycat YouTube channel. And also something you might not know is that in the previous snapshots, the way bamboo has worked is you craft bamboo planks by placing 4 bamboo like so. Now, however, it takes 9 bamboo to make bamboo blocks, which seems like an unfair trade until you realize you actually get the block of bamboo. This block of bamboo kind of looks like, I don't know, a waffle or something, but this block of bamboo is really handy because it can then be crafted into bamboo planks itself. It's the weirdest thing because you only get 2 bamboo planks back, so effectively the same recipe of input to output, and then with these bamboo planks you can craft everything else. It is very strange in my opinion by itself. I actually kind of like it. I think 9 bamboo is the more logical amount to craft something like this, personally, but I think one of the weird consequences of this is the fact that it means that 1, now you need more bamboo to craft something, and 2, it means that there is a second brand new block, because as well as the block of bamboo, you know, the lovely waffle block, which just looks so good by itself, we also have the stripped waffle block. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, it's the least stripped a block can get. It's like slightly less green, slightly more yellow, but still, there are 2 brand new blocks right here, and from the top they look identical, but from the sides they have slightly off, you know, this is like an unripe banana, this is like a ready to eat banana, and this is like a banana that you should have thrown out a long time ago. You're not making banana banana bread, damn it. It's all a lie you're telling yourself. Anyway, so yeah, there's a very interesting set of blocks that we have right here, and that is just one of the other changes they've made. They certainly haven't changed the size of the salmon, but what they have done is they've made some changes to the Shulker box. So the Shulker box is one of the best Minecraft items for late game players, and something you might not have known is that you can attach torches to it on the Java edition, and that's kind of fun by itself. I don't know why you'd ever realistically do this, but now when you open the Shulker box, it will unplace those torches, because right now, if you look at it, that torch is very clearly kind of on the side. Actually, wait, no, I thought the torch would be on the join of it, but if you look, the part of the Shulker box that opens is not the part that should be knocking off the torch. The torch should be able to stay there if you look logically. You know what? This is something Minecraft clearly needs to fix. Obviously, the torch on the top should be broken off, that makes sense. But the ones on the side, I'm actually kind of more torn about. And the other thing they've done extensively in this update is they've changed the creative inventory. So if we hop into creative real quick, which we're going to do because, you know, that's just what you can do on Java anytime you like because of Open to LAN. If we go into the Java inventory real quick, you'll see a couple of brand new things. One, they finally have 10 tabs right here. I think 10 is just more symmetrical and pleasing personally. I mean, I guess it's 11, but they've got 10 tabs here with a brand new one for colored blocks. I think this is great. I really do think that having building blocks be separate to colored and nature is actually a much more natural thing. That's kind of great by itself. And they've also started adding all sorts of other new blocks. So for instance, in combat, you can now find axes as well as swords. Swords and axes are both found in combat, axes are found in combat and they're found in tools. So yeah, that means that when you type, for instance, an axe in, you'll see that it is a tools and utility as well as a combat item, which I think is kind of cool personally, whereas a stone pickaxe is not really a combat item as far as Minecraft is concerned. You'll also notice they have all of the suspicious stews in here. I think that is a good thing in general. And yeah, I love to see the quality of life changes they're putting into this update. Obviously, the theme for 1.20, or the theme so far till they announce the kind of title of this update, is going to be self-expression and new options and whatnot. This is a really cool sea, by the way. There's not only is there a fire and some foxes, but there's also a shipwreck right here, which is cute. I've never actually seen foxes swim. Is there a good reason they're doing this? You know what? We don't have big salmon yet, but we do have something pretty close, it seems. At least for little salmon, we do. Anyway, so with that said, it's absolutely adorable, right? With that said, I think we have real Minecraft to talk about, which is a few things I'd like to give feedback on. One is the fact that this new creative inventory is going pretty well. I mean, it seems to be one of the most obvious and visible things we can see about this update, which, you know, in general, it's good that we're seeing something happen week by week. Obviously, you know, my personal preference would be like, it'd be cool to see some of the other big guns that are starting to happen, but I'm assuming they're deliberately putting extra time and effort before they reveal any big new things. But again, we are, you know, we're like a month since the announce of this update, basically, and so I am kind of curious as to, like, are we going to be seeing super small incremental changes, or are there big things in the pipework? So that's something I'm super curious about, as I guess just my thoughts. But my actual feedback on this would be twofold, personally. One is the fact that the stripped versus the unstripped blocks here, I mean, it's not that inspiring, personally. I think kind of missing some stuff. Two is the fact that the raft still kind of doesn't make so much sense when you think about it. I guess if it's in a way it's crafted from the bamboo, but it's not going so great. And three would have to be the fact that the Java edition of the game is still doing a really weird thing with the snapshot. So if you download snapshot 20W45A, this is what it'll look like when you try to craft 9 bamboo together. You need to add the data pack on first, of course. However, you can't, at least it's very tricky to add a data pack to an existing world. And also, most people don't see that data pack option as meaning this is the snapshot part of the snapshot. I do think it's important for them to clarify the difference between snapshot features and things coming in future updates past 1.19.3, but I also think it's important to just have it be a clear toggle in the menu like it is on Bedrock. Bedrock is very clear about you enable this here, and even that system trips people up. So yeah, the fact that I spent like 10 minutes trying to add the 1.20 data pack to an existing world is maybe just me being bitter right here. But overall, I do have to say this week's snapshot is pretty good. I mean, it's a lot of bug fixes, it's 2 brand new features in terms of blocks, it's a redesign to the Vex, and it's a good sign that, yeah, this update will be making small, subtle, important changes. However, I am more curious than ever as to what is actually happening. What is the next big thing that is being worked on right now? And if that's not the case, if they really don't have anything in the chamber, that'd be cool to learn about too. What do you think, Internet? Do you like these week by week updates, or would you prefer just like, yeah, in a month time we don't have any snapshot, but then in a month we see, wow, look, they've all of a sudden massively changed the way the spruce biomes work? Because I mean, you know, apparently they're spawning near lava a bit too often of the time. Bit of a problem, some would say. Wow, it's the end of the video, and I actually only asked you to leave this in the comments for engagement. The reason, as best I can tell, is that there's some invisible block that I can't break there, but as soon as I do break the block below it, it will vanish, and that happens. The block is called, if you're curious, it's a really weird sticky piston arm collision. It can exist in a block space, be non-visible, have no hitbox whatsoever, but still prevent other blocks from going there. So if you want a barrier block that can't be seen in any way, then this is the one for you, apparently. I mean, literally, you can pick block through it. It doesn't exist for anything besides stopping piston collisions, which I guess is a cool use. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this week's snapshot video. They have made some important changes. I really like the new way they're doing Bamboo, and it's cool to see that they clearly are taking community feedback on these sorts of things. That is very important. This is an update they're shaping with the community clearly, and that is a good example of it. The skin thing, I mean, you know, like releasing it, I'm a little more confused about that one, but again, that sounds like at least it is for a theoretical community, if not anyone that I've ever met. I'm sure, like, some new Minecraft player, very happy with that. And, yeah, the Vex change is really cool because that is literally taking something the community have theorized and that was basically confirmed and making it just a little bit more concrete so that players who aren't following the zeitgeist about Minecraft can be familiar with it too. Anyway, the moon is rising, which is a sign that it's time to say thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry about the slight shortage of videos. I've been having a little bit of a crazy time recently, and I hope to see you tomorrow for a live stream. Goodbye. I have no recollection of this video, by the way.